Hi again, everyone. So I'm just scrolling through my timeline on Facebook, and these two stories pop up, and I have to make a video on it. So this could go on for a while. Here it goes. Brad Pitt losing war for kids' custody. Angelina Jolie battles on her own terms. Brad Pitt may be losing the war with Angelina Jolie for joint custody of their kids. So how's the battle going? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's messy divorce has focused primarily on custody of their 6 children: Maddox 15, Pax 12, Zahara 11, Shiloh 10, and the 8-year-old twins Knox and Vivienne. According to the narrative, the turning point in the Pitt-Jolie relationship occurred when Brad was accused of getting physically abusive with his oldest son, Maddox. Since then, Angelina has filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. This particular bit of info is important for 2 reasons. One, while there is no doubt some sort of legal precedence and lawyer talk regarding the reason for divorce, irreconcilable differences is the official reason for Angelina Jolie divorcing Brad Pitt, not the safety of the children. That leads to the second reason. Since the divorce officially cannot or is not due to child abuse, there must be some other reason. It also explains why Jolie is using the children as a weapon against Pitt. Since September 14th incident on the airplane where Brad, by his own admission, yelled at Maddox, Jolie has continuously kept Pitt's contact with the children both minimal and under her control, purportedly for the welfare of their children. However, Brad Pitt has been cleared by the FBI's investigation. The Huffington Post reported that FBI spokesperson Laura E. Miller stated the following in response to allegations made following a flight within the special aircraft jurisdiction of the United States, which landed in Los Angeles carrying Mr. Brad Pitt and his children. The FBI conducted a review of the circumstances and will not pursue further investigation, and that no charges have been filed in this matter. If Brad Pitt has committed no crime, then why is Angelina Jolie keeping the kids from him, even for Thanksgiving? A classic tactic in divorces is for one of the parents to use the children as leverage against the other parent, whether intentionally or not. With Jolie dictating the terms of Pitt's interactions with the children, Brad may be on the losing end of the fight for the custody of the children. Angelina has filed for sole custody of their 6 children, while Pitt has filed for joint physical custody. The old adage, possession is 9/10 of the law, is already playing a role in the custody war. This is heartless but true. With the initial accusation against Pitt regarding child abuse, the kids could only go to Jolie. Despite Pitt's clearance, for the children's stability, staying with their mother is logical. As a result, Jolie has been able to control Brad's very limited number of supervised visits with the children. Exterior supervision critically negates the intimacy of family, shoving an outsider into an already tense situation. The result is less effective connection with Brad to his children during a very difficult time for them. An additional strike against Brad in the custody battle is the influence Jolie has regarding the children's therapy. According to Us Weekly, his days may only get harder. The Jolie source says the children, who are in therapy as per DCFS recommendations, have yet to decide where to spend Christmas. Says the Jolie source, that will be discussed with the therapist as the holiday gets closer. Tweet from Brad Pitt, I'm very saddened by this, but what matters most now is the well-being of our kids. Brad Pitt spent the Thanksgiving holiday apart from Jolie and the kids. Looking at the tactics employed in the battle for the children, Brad is losing, and badly at that. He does not have physical custody of the kids. His visits are very limited and controlled by Jolie. Jolie has influence regarding the kid's therapist. Despite being cleared, Brad Pitt has the Damocles sword of a child abuse accusation over his head. Should the legal custody battle go to court, Brad will have to come up with a miracle if he wants to receive joint physical custody of his and Angelina Jolie's children. So what do you think is going on with Brad Pitt, Angela Jolie divorce and custody battle? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. I will say this. These are all the same tactics that most of you who've dealt with parental alienation deal with. And why it is so scary and why I tell you no contact sometimes is the best way. Because it's the same point I made with Alec Baldwin over him screaming at his daughter years ago. Dealing with the same thing with Kim Basinger. I can think of no two people with more money than Brad Pitt and Alec Baldwin. Money doesn't matter. Do you think Brad Pitt and Alec Baldwin don't have the best attorneys? Not that their wives don't, not that Angelina doesn't, Jolie doesn't. Doesn't matter. That's why I'm telling you, when you go through these reviews, these joint custody reviews, okay, it doesn't matter what the findings are. Brad Pitt was cleared by the FBI because the incident happened on a plane, fell into there. Like, if you can't walk in with a clearance from the FBI and say, this is a non-issue, it doesn't exist anymore, the FBI cleared him. No, it doesn't work like that in family court. Oh, well, it could be true. So we have to say it must be true if it is. So the mother gets the... This is why. This is why. Because the next story I'm about to read is going to just make your head explode. So, you know, we got it. We got it, guys. And I mean, there's some women who go through this too. But we got it. It's a losing proposition unless you get really, really lucky. Any accusation can end you up in jail under FBI investigation and then still be able to be used against you, even when it's found to be completely false by the FBI. If you can't walk into a family court with a clearance for the FBI and it doesn't matter, like, this is why men walk away. This is why. They're going to bleed him for every goddamn cent they can get out of him. Supervised visits. Somebody got to watch him with his kids. If he did get physical with the 15-year-old, it's with the 15-year-old. Now, I'm not an advocate of hitting your children, but I don't have one male friend whose dad didn't have to fucking grab him at 15, 14 for some reason. Come on, man. Anything could be used against you. Anything. This is equality, though, okay? This is the area where you don't see any feminists, okay? This is the area where you don't hear a word from feminism. They're equal, until it comes to this shit. Till it comes to custody and divorce, then it's not equal no more. Right? So let's get into this next abomination. This will be a salty day, everyone. The next one that popped up in my feed is like taunting me. This is from the Daily Mail. And this is from May 4th of this year. Agony of being a 50-50 mom. Women once held the upper hand in custody battles. Now fathers are winning equal, in caps, equal access. And mothers are struggling to cope. Oh, welcome to the last 50 years of being a divorced father. Welcome. Bitching over half 50-50 shared custody. Nicola Hewitt, 42, an office manager from Kenley, Surrey, faces the trauma of being without her children, Devon, 10, and Sonny, 8, every weekend. The trauma. For weekends, the trauma. Veronica Sweeney Bird, a 33-year-old bar worker from Tunbridge Wells, a week-on, week-off shared care arrangement for her 2 daughters. Mothers are having to divide time with their children equally with their exes. This is trauma. Having to share time with the father is trauma for these women to be given a full-page article on the Daily Mail. Every mother lives for those small, joyful moments when her child masters something new. A book once too challenging, the telling of a joke previously stumbled over, a food devoured that had formerly been rejected. For it's in the genuine minutia of a little one's life that you really see their budding personality grow. Imagine then the agonizing pain of being privy to your child's life for only half the time, the milestones missed, the lost cuddles before bedtime, the long nights spent wondering if they are sleeping sweetly or crying out for mummy. This is the reality for Britain's growing legion of 50-50 mothers who divide their time with their children equally with their exes. It's a growing phenomenon that, on the surface, might seem the fairest way for separated parents to organize their lives, but it comes at an emotional price for the mothers involved, and the consequences for the children are as yet untold. Is this a fucking joke? It's like men don't even matter. It doesn't even matter. This is what society has brought us to these fucking 3 whining cunts being given a stage on a well-known platform of how being away from spending half of their time with their dads is going to have an adverse effect on children. Are you fucking serious? You wonder why Trump won. You wonder why, women, when you bring up this equality bullshit, nobody listens to you. Veronica Sweeney Bird is one such mother who wishes more than anything that her 2 little girls were having a more relaxed, stable childhood. Instead, every other Thursday, she drops one off at nursery and one off at primary school, full of foreboding as she kisses them goodbye. Week on, week off shared care arrangement with her ex-husband is the high price Veronica has to pay for her broken marriage. And 2 years on from the split, she still struggles to cope with the moment she says goodbye to her girls for 7 long days. I so hate being a 50-50 mother, says the 33-year-old bar worker from Tunbridge Wells, who was married for 7 years. When it's not my week to have the children, I have to try to switch off from being a mom, and it's very hard. To distract myself from the pain, I throw myself into work, working all the hours I can to keep me occupied. When they're not here, I dare not even go into the girls' room, because just seeing all their clothes and toys is very painful. I know I'll just dissolve into tears and won't be able to function. Veronica only ventures into their room the night before they are due home to tidy up and get ready for their return. I know they're coming back, so I feel more excited than upset and can handle it, she says. Look at this narcissistic bitch just posing, out looking for cock. Ugh. Although her ex-husband lives just a 10-minute walk away, relations are strained and there is little contact between them from a court-ordered FaceTime conversation with her daughters, Zia 5 and Talia 3, every other day while they are with him. Even that is hard because Ziva doesn't like talking on the phone and I can't force her, says Veronica. Although she trusts her ex-husband implicitly with the care of her girls, the lack of easy communication means she knows little of what they do in their time apart. More than this, decisions about their care are often made that are out of her control. Once I went to pick up the girls on my Thursday and was shocked to see it taking them to the hairdressers without telling me, says Veronica. Tally's hair had just grown long enough to tie ponytails and now it was too short to tie up. I was devastated. It ain't about you, bitch. Do you see how these mothers are using these children as nothing more than accessories for their own lives? These are all decisions that get made without men's knowledge every fucking day. Every day. Now maybe you know what it's like, and you're dealing with 50-50 coverage. Not being able to see your kid every other weekend if you're lucky. Not being in the situation I am when I haven't seen my kid in 4 years. Having access to the phone cut off constantly. Are you serious? Are you serious? More women victimization bullshit. You're not victims. All you're proven by this whining is that she shouldn't be at work, okay, if she wants to be a mother so bad. On Mother's Day this year, Veronica wasn't even able to speak to the girls, as it didn't fall on her court-appointed FaceTime day, something she says she found utterly heartbreaking. That is bullshit. All right, it's because you got problems with your ex. Obviously, the bitterness is carried over. I don't agree with that. There's no reason to do that. That is just fucking cruel. Believe me, I know. And recently, her ex informed her that Ziva would be going to an after-school judo class every Wednesday, which encroaches on her own week with the girls. Ziva really enjoys it, so that's okay, says Veronica. But I don't like not being a part of the discussion to decide what activities my own children are going to partake in. When you have children, you want to have a say in every element of their upbringing, but in my situation, that's impossible. Well, that's what goes on with men every day. Were you consulting him about the decisions you're making every day? No. No. Nowhere does it say she consults him with everything. No, it doesn't say that. He should have to consult her on all decisions he makes when the girls are with him, but obviously not vice versa. That's equality in 2016, I guess. Okay? That's gender equality. You all want gender equality, except when it comes to this. You all want your gender equality until it comes to this. And this is why every time you start women and these feminists start screaming about fucking gender equality, you laugh at them and you point at this. You want gender equality? Explain this, feminist. Explain this article, feminist. Such emotionally grueling arrangements over childcare are becoming increasingly common. While officials figures suggest that only 3% of separated parents share their children's time equally, experts say this is a gross underestimate because many arrangements are unofficial and so unrecorded. Wow. Wow. If that paragraph doesn't tell you in a nutshell how bullshit this whole argument is, they're talking about officially they're having this long, drawn out, pity me argument for these women that only affects 3% of the population. And now they're saying, well, we don't know, it could be worse because other people make custody arrangements without the government getting involved and we don't know about it. Well, if the government don't know about it, that means it's working out perfectly. That means it's working out great and they don't need your fucking help. So thank you for furthering the argument of keeping the government out of family matters, out of this shit at all costs. Because if nobody's complaining to you about it, that means it's working for both parents. Holy fucking dog shit. This drawn out bullshit over something over only 3% of divorced fathers in Britain get. 3%. And this is what you get. How many fathers without their children? No decisions, no nothing, no contact. Look at fucking Brad Pitt. And this long, drawn out fucking, oh, please help the women, the poor women. 3%. 3%. But we don't know because the rest is unrecorded. Well, if it's unrecorded, it means two mature adults can work out an agreement for the best arrangements of everybody involved without your motherfucking help. More and more couples are agreeing to split care of their children without any intervention by the courts, according to Jane Roby, the Chief Executive Officer of National Family Mediation, an organization that conducts over 30,000 mediations a year between separating couples. 10 years ago, shared care wasn't really an option, says Jane. Now there is a cultural shift towards fathers taking an active role in their children's upbringing, so many men are saying they want to be involved in the day-to-day parental care. However, Jane warns that trying to be fair to both adults can be damaging for the children. It can be very hard for them as they have to live in different homes and move from place to place continually. And that can make them feel unsettled and unhappy. There may come a time when they just don't want to go, or they'll start playing one parent off against each other. When deciding on arrangements post-split, all this has to be considered. Shared care has to work in favor of the child and has to focus on their needs, not just those of the parents. There are many potential permutations of shared care, some more difficult to bear for the mother than others. It can mean a 50-50 week on, week off arrangement like Veronica's splitting the week, or 3 to 4 days for each parent, or one parent having the children during the week and every other weekend. Nicole Hewitt, who split from her 42-year-old police officer husband Dan in 2011, after 10 years of marriage, faces the trauma of being without her children, Devon, 10, and Sunny, 8, every weekend. Instead, she must make do with being a midweek parent. It made sense because my ex lives half an hour's drive away and wasn't near school. So the weekends work better all around, says Nicole, 42, an office manager from Kenley, Surrey. But I really miss the children being in the house. I miss putting them to bed and hearing Sonny say, I love you, as he walked down the stairs. I sit in the house at weekends, deafened by the silence, hankering after their company and feeling like bits of me are missing. After all, when you're married, you do everything with your partner and everything is centered around your children. Then suddenly it ends and you're ousted from your normal life. It took me 2 years to get my head around it. At first, she coped by filling the hours as best she could, focusing on her work, her 5 dogs, 3 of which she got after her husband left, and going running. But the void remains. It is lonely on special days like Mother's Day or my birthday, when they're not with me, and I just try to power through the day, says Nicola. Holidays are hard too. 3 years ago, their father took them to Florida for Christmas for 2 weeks, which they loved, of course. But I couldn't stop crying when they came through at the airport. It was far too long to be away from them. While Nicola knows her ex is a good father, there are often sticking points when it comes to their styles of parenting. I am very outdoorsy and the kids are often muddy and not in their best clothes, whereas he likes them to be ultra clean and dressed nicely, she says. I believe the kids should be a bit grubby and fit. She is left to cope with the trivials of the school and working week, whereas her partner gets to enjoy the more relaxed weekends. I get the worst of them. He has them when they're not tired, whereas I get their grumpy sides and they have to nag them to do homework. Nicola believes that the children have adjusted well to this setup and enjoy having 2 separate lives. But even after 2 years of having their mother only part-time there are still signs of neediness. Sonny often plays up when he gets home from his father's after a weekend, she confesses, and is a lot more clingy and attention-seeking. But I know they feel secure and loved because my ex and I have a good relationship and communicate easily, and the kids know their routine well. And that's the key, according to Jane Roby. Communication, she says, is the key to a good shared care arrangement, and is often a problem with warring couples who can't put their personal differences aside. Shared parenting has to be about focusing on the children's needs, and it works best when the parents aren't playing silly games with the children caught in the middle. It's also beneficial if the parents live close to each other, so they can maintain the children's routine to give them a sense of belonging. It's important that the kids are not being shuttered around the country or feeling isolated in one parent's house away from everything they know. It's not about the parents, right, but the children. It was this relentless focus on the child that Charlotte Dickinson tried to maintain when she separated from her partner of 10 years 12 months ago. Charlotte splits care of their 5-year-old daughter, Jessica, with her ex-partner, who lives just over the road. He has her 3 nights of the week in Charlotte, the remaining. It was a joint decision to split up, and there was no animosity. So it made the shared care a lot easier, admits a 38-year-old teaching assistant from Cardiff. But it just took time to adjust. On the days when Jessica was gone, the house was so quiet. In the middle of the night, she'd often crawl into my bed, and when she wasn't there, I struggled to sleep. Charlotte soon developed coping mechanisms for the lonely nights when her little girl was away. I ended up getting a cat, she says, and it was nice to have something else to come home to. And I started cooking meals for the freezer so I wouldn't have to cook when Jessica was here and could devote more time to her. I always took up running, going for a long run on each of the nights Jessica was with her dad, and made arrangements with her friends. Although they do differ in parenting styles, I'm a soft touch while my ex is more disciplined, said Charlotte. She believes Jessica benefits from the continuity of contact with both her parents. It's very hard to be apart from her, but she loves her dad and enjoys spending time with both of us. She has 2 sets of toys and her own bedroom at both our places. and seems to have adjusted well to the new setup. It is this maturity of attitude that more separating couples need to adopt, says Relate counselor Denise Knowles. Their children will absolutely suffer. As children grow up, they do become less needy of us. But in these shared care situations, the loss becomes acute from an early age. While it can be heartbreaking, you just have to make the most of your time with your child. You see your time apart as time off and use it to focus on your own interests. Eventually, we all feel the loss of our children as they grow up into teenagers and leave home, and we end up having to refine our purpose aside from being parents. This is a chance to do that a little earlier. Veronica Sweeney Bird, though, is yet to adopt this sunny attitude. I know the girls have to see their dad, but at the end of the day, I'm a mother who has to somehow learn to stop being a mother for half of my life, she says. I'm not sure I can ever come to terms with that. I don't know many mothers who could. And nowhere in this article is it mentioned this is what fathers have to deal with. It just dehumanizes men. It dehumanizes father. Like it's not even broached in here. Remember, this whole thing is about 3% of the population in Britain. The rest of it, where they're telling you what has to be done, remember the people they said that are doing this that they don't know about? Well, obviously that's how they're operating their lives, because you don't know about them. The rest of it is just basic common sense. The rest of it is exactly what I tried to set up north, and it just wasn't going to happen under threats of arrest. Or becoming Brad Pitt, where a bullshit charge of abuse ruins everything. You want to know why? Feminists, nobody wants to listen to you about gender equality. Where's the equality in this? There is none. It is maddening. For someone who hasn't seen his daughter for 4 years. Wow. To have this shoved in your face. Really. Really. It's like men don't even exist. So, thank you to everybody watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave any opinions you have in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, and a narcissist you'd like to expose, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email link in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. It's Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.